Yeah, this is the Marv 800 back once again with the DVD Blu-ray update. I know it's been a while since I've been on. It's been almost like 2 months since I've been on, but I'm back and I got a DVD Blu-ray update. But first, before I do that, I went to this magazine stand today and I picked up the new Pro Wrestling Illustrated July 2011 report cards of the stars. It shows seen on the front with an A+. I picked this up. Now, what's cool about this magazine, I was reading some of it on the way home, and what's cool about it is it's got an Undertaker career retrospective in here right from his early days. And what's really cool is it shows Undertaker when he was a rookie. Here's what he looked like as Master Payne down in the Texas-based area, down in Dallas when he started. So he looks like right there as a rookie, the Undertaker. I thought it was pretty cool. They put that picture in there of him. And it shows you when he was like with when he was with Dan Spivey in the Skyscrapers too. When Sid Vicious got hurt, they put him in there with Dan Spivey as the Skyscrapers. Teddy Long, I think, managed him. There you got the Skyscrapers down there. And it's a very good one to read on the Undertaker. I really enjoyed it picking this up. So now I know a lot of people on here will say, a lot of wrestling fans say, well, nowadays with the internet, why would you buy magazines? But I'll tell you something. We went yesterday with hours and hours without Hydra because there was a big storm here. We got the tail end of them tornadoes from the States here yesterday, and the Hydra was out for hours before we got it back on. I'm glad I had a lot of wrestling magazines in that to read, because I mean, what else are you going to do when the Hydra goes out? You got nothing else. Everything's modern Hydra, like internet, TV, DVDs. You can't watch DVDs, anything. So it really pays to kind of have a lot of wrestling magazines. Like, I know a lot of people don't like buying magazines nowadays because of the internet, but you know, it don't hurt to buy some wrestling magazines once. But like, I don't buy it every month, but I do pick up certain issues. Are good to have. So because I do like reading a lot of magazines, I do own a lot of wrestling magazines, at least 800 or more in my collection. I go all the way back to like 1970 in my collection. I've shown some of them on here, some of the wrestling magazines I've owned in the past, but not all of them, not even close to all the ones I own. So I have a very big wrestling magazine collection, so I'm glad when times like that and we got no Hydra, we can you can look at wrestling magazines and read them, because that's pretty well all you can do when you got no Hydra. So I still like picking up magazines once in a while and stand, whether it's wrestling, Playboy, you know, Rolling Stone magazine, National Geographic, anything like that. I'm a magazine guy myself, so I pick up all kinds of magazines. So anyways, okay, let's move on to the DVDs and Blu-rays I picked up. Okay, first, I'm going to start with the Blu-rays instead of DVDs. Usually I start with the DVDs, but today I'm going to start with the Blu-rays I picked up. I picked up 3 Blu-rays, and the rest are DVDs. Okay, so the first thing I picked up on Blu-ray, I picked these up at The Beat Goes On today, is the classic John Hughes film from 1989, Uncle Buck on Blu-ray. I picked it up for $6.99. You're not going to beat that, $7 on Blu-ray. For Uncle Buck, I picked it up for $7, which is a good buy. Stars John Candy, of course, and the guy from Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin. You can see Macaulay Culkin. That was about a year before he did the first Home Alone. The first one didn't come out to 1990. This came out in '89, so that was about a year before he did the Kevin McAllister character from Home Alone. So Macaulay Culkin wasn't well known in this movie yet until Home Alone came out and he became a major star. But this was back about a year before he did Home Alone. So, and you gotta love John Candy. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorites. I love all John Candy movies. So I'm really glad to have this in my collection, Uncle Buck. Very, very, very good movie. I'm just glad to have it for $7. Like I said, you're not gonna beat that. So picked up Uncle Buck. And the next thing I picked up also for $7, $6.99, is Young Guns, the original on Blu-ray. I freaking love this filler. You've seen me talk about Young Guns before, and here I have the DVD too, which I'm still keeping the DVD. But now I got the Blu-ray, because I mean, for $7 I picked it up really cheap. So a lot of the older Blu-rays I won't pick up like unless I can get it for a really good deal on the older movies. But yeah, for $7 I picked it up. So picked up Young Guns. Love this movie. It's got all the same special features I think that the first one's got, like the regular DVDs got on it. I think the Blu-ray and DVDs are about the same for special features. But I can't wait to see what this looks like on Blu-ray. I hope it looks good. My uncle said it looks good. He's got Young Guns on Blu-ray, so we'll see what it looks like in Blu-ray. But there you go. So there's Young Guns. And the last one I picked up on Blu-ray is the classic 1976 Martin Scorsese film Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro, the special edition. I picked this up. This has got a shitload of special features, and I definitely recommend, if you love this movie and you're a fan of Martin Scorsese or you're a fan of Robert De Niro, definitely pick this movie up. It's got all kinds of stuff like Blu-ray exclusives, interactive script of the screen, original 1986 commentary. It's got commentary by writer Paul Schrader and Professor Robert Kolker. It's got Martin Scorsese on Taxi Driver, producing Taxi Driver, influence and appreciation, Taxi Driver stories, making of a documentary, traversing the changes of New York from 1975 to today. It's got about 4 or 5 other special features. I mean, this thing's just loaded and loaded with special features. Like, look at it all down there. Just all kinds of special features. I definitely recommend that you pick this up if you don't have it. You're a fan of Taxi Driver. Definitely get this on Blu-ray. There's what it looks like. It comes in a thick package too, like it's big. And I got mine for $19. It was 19 something. I think I picked it up at Walmart for $19. It was well worth picking it up, and I can't wait to watch this movie. I never owned Taxi Driver. I seen it years ago, and like quite a few years back, I've seen it on TV, but I've never actually owned them. Like I never had the DVD to it, so I figured if I seen the Blu-ray, I might as well buy the Blu-ray to it because I'm trying to collect more Blu-rays now. So I mean, I still buy the odd DVDs, but I try to get the Blu-rays to it if I can. I'm more of a Blu-ray guy now, but I try to pick up most of the time the Blu-ray. I mean, sometimes if I can't get it on Blu-ray, then I'll go with the DVD, but it just depends. But yeah, it depends on the price. Like I said, Blu-rays, I like to pick up less. Like I said, they're too much money on the older ones. Like I won't pay a lot for the older Blu-rays for movies, but if I can get like a good deal on them, yeah, I pick them up. But I still buy a lot of DVDs as well. I'm kind of both DVD and Blu-ray, so. But anyways, yeah, but if you don't have this movie, definitely pick it up. A classic. And you know the famous line in the movie, "You talking to me? Are you talking to me? There's no one else around, so you must be talking to me." That's the famous line from Taxi Driver. You gotta love that. Very awesome movie, one of my all-time favorites. Okay, now on to the DVDs, and I picked up. Okay, the first thing I got is the classic 1980 film. I believe this is out of print now, but I'm not sure. It didn't come out around 1980 originally, I believe. I don't see the actual original year on it, but I think it was 1980 if I'm not mistaken. But it's a classic Chevy Chase film. It's called Oh Heavenly Dog, with him and the Benji dog from the movie Benji, the original. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this Chevy Chase movie, but it's definitely a classic. I picked this up at The Beat Goes On. I think this DVD's out of print now because I checked it on CD Universe. It said discontinued, so I don't know if this is in print or they're going to discontinue with it, but I know you can get it off Amazon. Oh Heavenly Dog, but I must pick up if you like this movie. It's definitely a classic in my opinion. I love Oh Heavenly Dog. Good movie. And the next DVD I picked up is the C. Thomas Howell and Nicholas Torturo movie now this, what version is, wait, is this is the one with C.T., yeah, this is the one with C. Thomas Howell, yeah, I just said his name. The Hillside Strangler. Now this is based on the 80s serial killer, the Hillside Strangler. I think the crimes took place in the early 80s, or late 70s, or is it late, okay, 77, 78, and 1971 they took place. I thought it was the early 80s, but it was more, okay, it was the 70s, I guess. Yeah, this stars C. Thomas Howell as the Hillside Strangler. Now this is from the same makers of Ed Gein and the Ted Bundy movie, which I both own them serial killer movies. You've seen all the updates before, but now I got the Hillside Strangler, and this also has an interview with C. Thomas Howell, deleted scenes, director's commentary, and commentary, yeah, with director. It's got interview with C. Thomas Howell. I don't know what that interview is like. I've never seen it, but in deleted scenes. So this looks to be pretty good. There's the disc. There's a little booklet on the inside telling you about the movie. So this is based on the Hillside Strangler. I think there's actually a few movies based on the Hillside Strangler, but the one with C. Thomas Howell is the best one to get. The other ones kind of stink, really. So if you're going to get one on the Hillside Strangler, get the C. Thomas Howell version, because it's the best one. The other ones are no good. So if you're definitely going to get the Hillside Strangler, definitely pick up the one with C. Thomas Howell. Okay, the next thing I picked up, now this completes my 2003 collection. I finally picked up is 2003 WWE Armageddon. So now my 2003 collection is complete now. This is the only one I needed for the 2003 pay-per-view, so now I got them all. So now I can put it in there, and I'll be able to see the 2003 across the spines of the 2003 pay-per-view. So I'm finally glad I had this and finally got my 2003 pay-per-views completed. And this is a good card too. If I remember watching this, it was pretty good. It's got Intercontinental Championship match, Randy Orton versus Rob Van Dam, special guest referee Mick Foley. It's got Shawn Michaels versus Batista. It's got the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship, Kane versus Goldberg versus Triple H. It's got the Battle of the Sexes match, Trish Stratus Nita versus Chris Jericho and Christian. And it had the Tag Team Turmoil World Championship match with the Dudley Boys versus Mark Jindrak and Garrison Cade, who later became Lance Cade. Versus Val Venus and Lance Storm, and versus the Hurricane and Rosie, versus Law Resistance, versus Scott Steiner and Test. So if I remember correctly, this is a very good pay-per-view. I haven't seen it since it came out in 03, but if I remember correctly, this is a really good pay-per-view, so I can't wait to watch this. I'll probably watch this tonight, more likely. So yeah, so now I finally got my 2003 pay-per-views all completed with the Armageddon 2003 with Triple H on the front. So, and the last 3 things I picked up, Walmart had a sale on the Friends sets. I picked up a couple. They actually had a lot more Friends when I went up before a couple of weeks ago. They had a whole rack of them, but they had sold a bunch before them. Like, they had season, I think one made up to 10, I think. But by the time I got up there, the only seasons were left was the complete 3rd season and the complete 7th season of Friends. These were on sale for $15 a season. They're all complete. And what I like about the newer TV shows is they come in the smaller cases. They're not the big thick ones like the other one. Now that they've redone the TV shows, are in little smaller cases, which is better. So the complete 3rd season of Friends runs 96-97. And the 7th season runs 2000-2001. Now, if I had to pick, the better season might be definitely 7. 7's got some really good episodes on it. 3 was good, but I prefer 7. The thing with Friends is I like more the earlier season. Like, I think the first seasons 1 through 8 were the better seasons. 9 and 10 wasn't bad. The last 2 seasons they did, but they weren't as good as the first 8. Now, Friends is one of my all-time favorite shows. One of the great 90s TV show, Friends. You gotta love Friends. Good show from the 90s. One of the better situation comedies from the 90s. A lot of the situation comedies that come out of the 90s were garbage. Were really bad, except there's a few good ones, of course, like Friends, Married with Children, Home Improvement. You know, Frasier wasn't bad. Some of the more better ones in the 90s that were other ones that were just god awful. I don't want to get into which ones they are. You probably already know what the bad ones in the 90s were, but Friends was one of the good ones, so I'm glad to have these in my collection. So these are the only 2 seasons of Friends I own so far. I'm going to get the rest of them, but these are the 2 seasons I own. I'm glad I got these before Walmart sold completely out of them. So because they have a whole bunch of sales on a whole bunch of TV shows out there. Like, they got Friends, they got Happy Days up there, they got The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they got The Odd Couple, they got what else do they have up there for TV shows? I think they had Degrassi, but it was a newer Degrassi. I think the newer Degrassi show from the 2000s. I only like the original one from the 80s. They had a sell on the newer Degrassi seasons, and I think they had what else do they have up there? I'm trying to remember. I think they had Family Guy. So I think they had some Family Guy seasons, and I think they had was it What's Happening, or I can't remember. I think they might have had Sanford and Son too, but I'm not sure. But they had a whole rack of shows out there, so I picked up a couple of Friends seasons because I want to collect the Friends. I like that show, so I'm glad to have these in my collection now. And the last thing I picked up is the New York Islanders 10 Great Games set of the Islanders. Now, the reason I picked this up, I'm not a major Islanders fan. Like, I don't mind them, but the reason why I picked up this set is because it's got a lot of Mike Bossy stuff from his early days. Like, you know, Mike Bossy, Dennis Potvin, Billy Smith, Bobby Nystrom, you know, Clark Gillies, all the earlier Islanders, which is the good teams back then. And it's got their final from the Stanley Cup against the Flyers from May 24th, 1980. Awesome game. It's got the one against the North Stars in 81 final. It's got the one against the Penguins in 82. It's got their final against Edmonton from 83. It's got their Easter epic with the Capitals from 1987. That's the famous game that went into, was it 4 or 5 overtimes? And I think it was Pat LaFontaine eventually scored for the Islanders winning it. But that game went to like 2 or 3 in the morning. That game was one of the longest games ever played still in Stanley Cup history. I think it's still in the top 10 of the longest games in the Stanley Cup playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. At one time, I think it was in like the top 3 or 4, but there's been some long games since then. But I still believe that game is still in the top 10, the Easter epic. And then it's got Al Harbour's 1500 game versus the Penguins from 07. And it's also got the Bates penalty shot versus the Leafs from 2002, where the Islanders beat the Leafs from 2002 one year. So all in all, this is a really good set, and I can't wait to watch some of these games. So I picked up the Islanders for my sports collection. So there you go. So anyways, this has been the Marv 800, and that's been my DVD Blu-ray update for this time. Now check next week. I should have another DVD update coming. Because I got my movies coming from CD Universe. I have not got here yet, but when they do get here, I'm going to unbox the package and show you what I got. That'll be probably hopefully here next week, I'm hoping. Because if I don't, they'll have to send me a replacement, because that's been over a month and I still haven't got them in the mail yet, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, I look forward to that, and I'm also going to have the Big Show and World Heavyweight Title DVD reviews up either tonight or tomorrow, so look for them over the weekend. They will be up by either tomorrow or Sunday. So anyways, this is Marv 800, and I'm out.